Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins, and I have 5 quick tips for you on how to deal with difficult people. Now, these 5 quick tips that I've put together for you, the upside is you don't need any cooperation or input from those difficult people. These are things you can do completely on your own. Here's tip number 1. Assume positive intent. Now, this can be difficult with difficult people because sometimes our thinking gets along the lines of, oh, they're just trying to make life so difficult. Well, usually they're not. In fact, most of the people that I've interviewed and asked directly want better things for everyone around them. That sounds like pretty positive intent. Even if you're wrong, you're in a better position because it changes how you show up. And what you think matters. If you think that that person is evil, you're going to feel some things that have you showing up differently in the interaction. So work on this a little bit, and you can do it on purpose. You can simply tell yourself, oh, they mean well. And even if you have a hard time believing that, you're better off choosing that position, even if you're wrong, because of how it changes you. So that's number 1, assume positive intent. Tip number 2 has to do with your choice about what your experience is going to be. And I'm going to phrase it this way. Choose to be entertained or to enjoy them. Choose to be entertained or to enjoy them. This goes back in my experience to years ago. I remember there was this person who lived in our neighborhood who most people found to be kind of difficult or annoying. I chose to enjoy this person. And I remember a conversation with my wife at the time. She said, how can you even stand him? And I said, he entertains me. She hadn't even thought about that as a possibility, but as we had that conversation, we decided that every interaction that we saw him have with other people, we could predict certain maladaptive things that would come up in that interaction. And that became kind of amusing, kind of entertaining, kind of enjoyable. But it took a specific determination or choice to enjoy or to be entertained. Here's a little supportive tip. I got this strategy from Jeannie Robertson. She just passed away last year. What a phenomenal, funny lady she was. You can still find her videos on YouTube. Jeannie Robertson. I was in a training with her on humor and the productive use of humor in public speaking when she said this, find the funny. Find the funny. How simple is that? But what a powerful tip. If you go into an interaction looking for what's annoying or problematic or difficult, you're going to find it. What if you go into the same interaction to find the funny? Find what's humorous or entertaining or enjoyable about this. That's one way you can support this strategy, which is choose to enjoy or be entertained. Tip number 3, seek to understand. I'm reminded of a quotation that's attributed to President Abraham Lincoln way back in the day when he was commenting about one of these difficult people that we're talking about. He said, I don't really like that man very much. I must get to know him better. I love that because it implies that there are things about every individual, every person out there that are rich and abundant. And if we were to take the time to understand them better, we'd probably like them a whole lot more. So that's my challenge to you. Seek to understand. This will also give you an opportunity to practice your communication skills because seeking to understand is one of the first things that we teach in communication training. Just as a little bonus, I would love to give you the communication cheat sheet that I've put together for you. This is a freebie. Go to the URL on the screen right now, drpauljenkins.com/communication. I'll put that in your inbox. It's just a little cheat sheet that has a few tips and pointers on it about what we can do to improve our communication. Seeking to understand is something that you can specifically do to deal with these difficult people. I've got those 2 more tips as promised. Before I give those to you, take just a moment to click the subscribe button. If you're still here, and you are, because I can see you right there, go click that subscribe button. I promise I'll be bringing you new videos every week to support you in doing the kinds of things that we're talking about right here. So go click it right now. Tip number 4 comes from Ron Zeller, who is a world-class leadership trainer through the Landmark Forum. I knew Ron well before he passed away just a few years ago. And he shared this idea with me. It has to do with naming. When we name something, and we do it all the time, we come up with names for our kids, our pets, but also everything in our world around us. What we name something determines how we act toward that thing. The example that he shared was with a pet, for example. We give our pet a name that we can adore and have fun with and interact with. And Ron pointed out, this is a little on the morbid side, but he says we don't name our pets Lunch. Okay, lunch is a very different name. What do you do with lunch? You eat it. And it's your name for it that determines your behavior toward it. So everything that we name lunch, we're eating, and everything that we name some adorable pet name, we treat as an adorable pet. So notice that that name that you choose matters. Now let's go back to what we're working on. How to deal with difficult people. I put that in air quotes because we just named them difficult people, and that changes how we show up for them. Notice that. Is there a different name that you could pick? That's the tip. Choose a different name that allows you to get away from difficult. What could you name them instead? You might name them interesting. You might name them enjoyable. And it doesn't have to be a one-word name. It could be that the name that you pick for them is something like, I'm really curious about that person. That's a weird name, but if that's the name that you pick, you're going to show up differently than if you're naming them difficult. Now here's your final tip, and I think this is the most powerful of all. Find some way to serve them. When your mind is geared towards service and creating value, you think about that person very differently, your experience with them is very different, and the outcomes tend to be vastly different as well. If someone is annoying or difficult or painful or frustrating, notice that that's a name, first of all, but find some way to serve that person. And I guarantee you're going to have a whole different outcome. There's a lot of psychological reasons behind that I'm not going to share on this video today. But understand that that is a psychologically sound tip that's going to really help you to interact with those difficult people. As you can see, this is all about our own thinking and our personal development. Cue up that next video, how you can reprogram your mind to stay strong and positive no matter what. You're going to want to see that one.